Yeah.
I think the most profound journey that a person can go on is understanding who they really are. And when you combine that with this question of what do I do best, you have a sense of the present moment combined with an activity that can provide meaning and an aim and a direction that you can run so that you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And really, when you talk about that, that just makes me realize, I've talked to multiple people on this show that connection, like what is this experience, whether it's real or not, and whatever is real, you can't say real without air quotes around it anyway. So what is this experience without that connection? I want to work toward wrapping up, but there's one question that's been on my mind as you've been talking, because I can just feel your presence, man, and your energy, and just the way that you've evolved your life. It's just so inspiring. I want you to know that, like, not just your mind has evolved, your soul has evolved. There's this presence that I hope when I share this that people can sense through the lens as well. So I just want to recognize you for that.
Thanks.
What was more impactful? Was it going through the cancer, or was it the awakening you had 2.5 years ago when you gave everything up?
Okay, I'm going to say something.
And they don't have to be, you know what I mean?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think the answer is going to be even weirder than you expected. I loved having cancer.
Wow.
I love COVID. I loved that unbelievably shitty pain and anguish that I went through. Now, it wasn't fun going through it. I really wanted to be dead. I really had to face some ugly freaking demons that had been with me for a long, long time. And there was one moment, I'll tell you one story and then I'm going to answer your question, but this will give you some substance. So, I was with some guides that helped me through some really rough times that were, one of them, I don't even know who it was, that existed only as a voice. Okay. This is the strangest and most expensive investment in myself I've ever made. And it's so weird. It's almost not believable, but they had me do some sort of Chinese herbal detox. And someone said, "What is it?" I don't know. I can't find the packaging. I've never found it since. But it was one of these things that the basic premise behind it is you drink a bunch of substances in different orders and it flushes out each of your organs in different orders. And as it flushes, different stuff comes out of you. So they show pictures. So one of them will be like your gallbladder. And anyone who's ever done like the olive oil lemon juice thing where you just basically poop, it looks like wasabi peas come out of you. You're like, what the hell? But then they've got different things that come out of your heart, your lungs, your spleen. Oof. And they have different colors. There's plaque and all kinds of toxicities in every part of your body. And this thing just causes your body to just go, and you're basically pooping nonstop for about 13 hours. Up.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous of me to say, but the thought of getting that shit out of my body sounds incredible.
Oh, it was. Okay. Now I'm going to get to the weird part. So I'd say for my entire life, I've always felt this, but I couldn't have defined it until after what I'm about to tell you happened. Mm-hmm. But I had this presence, just like I felt distorted. It was like right out of a movie. And once I saw the visual, mm-hmm. and it could have been a hallucination because look, I hadn't eaten, everything's out of me, and I'm like going through all sorts of stuff. And there were tons of other psychologically traumatic things happening simultaneously that these people had me think about that were extraordinarily uncomfortable and unpleasant. But I saw something leave me that was not of this. It was a non-organic presence that kind of looked like, imagine if you had like a whole bunch of Legos kind of swirling around, mm-hmm. and exploding simultaneously, and it just passed through me and I saw it exit. Okay. I felt it. And again, my brain thinks it thought something.
Yeah.
Might not have been whatever it was.
I love that.
Right. So all once, for the first time in my conscious life, I was still. And it's as if if you can imagine a bag filled with grenades and screaming cats had been living inside you, and the only way to normalize was to move with it. So it was like I had been accommodating my whole life. That was my ADHD incarnate. And it's exited me. And for the first time that I'm aware of, I genuinely felt peace. And it was like, this is, it was like something only in my dreams had I imagined, but I had never experienced it in my waking state. So the answer to your question and why I said what I said was, while I went through cancer, I learned a unique skill. I talked about it in my book. I wrote a book called Cancerpreneur, and I learned how to become a non-judgmental observer of this body that I call Mike, my vehicle I get to ride in for 85 or 90 years or however long it's going to be. And maybe it's 150, maybe it's 200, whatever it is. But I became like a camera observing this thing, and all I learned to do is just give this body thing compassion and love and empathy and gratitude. And the only way I could deal with the pain that it was experiencing was to not feel pain. And then afterwards, I felt so much compassion for people that I saw, especially children who I know would go through cancer treatment. I can remember meeting a young boy right after I got out of the hospital, and this guy knew that I had just finished treatment. He pointed out his 9-year-old son, and he just finished his treatment too. And I go, "Hey, do you have one of these?" And I leaned down and I showed him my port scar, right? Which at the time was pretty profound. And he goes, "Yeah," and he shows me his. It was like we had this bonding experience. And looking back, I believe, most people would say they like the after cancer Mike better.